Frontline Chat with Harry Tanguy and Dave Wardell.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I thought you were frozen. Hey, actually, I forgot to put the Ethernet cable in. So, shall we? Oh, yeah. Forgot to put that. So, if I have trouble, I'll stick it in and see what happens. But yeah, no. How are you? I'm feeling a bit lethargic today, mate. I believe you just finished nights, haven't you?
Yeah, I got up about an hour ago. So if I go quiet and gently nod off, just pretend my screen has frozen. And
yeah, it depends. Depends if you have an ugly sleeping face, which everyone does. No one sleeps like in the films, do they? In the Hollywood films. Perfect. We used to call them cornflake adverts when they used to get out of bed and be, "Hi, everybody," and with perfect hair.
But I thought firearms officers did get out of bed like that. I'll be dribbling. You'll know if I'm asleep because I'll be dribbling out the corner of my mouth. It's so attractive. So attractive.
Firearms officers tend to, we hang like bats on rails.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Right. So look, we're joined today by Jem. Say hi, Jem.
Hi, Jem.
Who's sat with Finn.
It's looking really tidy. I'm ignoring Jem and looking at the tidiness around Jem.
Oh yeah,
so I assume
that was Jem running around like a lunatic 2 minutes before the live started. Because the kids use this place, and we obviously we let them use it, and they bring their friends up here, but they're under strict instructions to keep it tidy, and they don't.
No, funny that.
Yeah,
funny. I've just got, because I live in a bungalow, and if you open the front door, the postman will see straight into my son and then my daughter's rooms, because it's like the doors all around that hallway, and they are absolute. It's like someone's just rolled a grenade in there and it's gone off.
Yeah,
unbelievable. And they're 22. They're 22. Well,
Indy, she is like literally. What's Indy like, Jem? She's like a one-person wrecking ball. You know, that's. Shut up. She said she takes after me. Don't listen to it. It's rubbish. Fastidious in my cleanliness. Yeah, she's like a one-person wrecking ball. She literally walks into a room and concentrates on something for about 3 seconds before she moves on to the next thing, leaving the thing she had behind her on the floor. A nightmare.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it is. Days in Italy. Days in Italy. I wonder where these names come from. They're quite. Hi, Gemma, says Days in Italy. Wilfred Jenkins. Now, Wilfred's a very interesting name, isn't it? Wilfred. There's not many Wilfreds about.
We used to have a police dog called Wilf. Not us, but my friend did.
Really?
There's Maxie. Say hi, Maxie.
Yeah, that's it. Wilfred is asking who the other dogs are.
Well, that's Maxie. I don't know. It depends where they are. Finn's sat out there. That's one of his favourite spots. Sat out there.
Yeah.
Beep.
Yeah.
Finn. Finn. He's getting a bit deaf, a bit like me. He's getting a bit deaf. I don't know. Hero and Pearl will be in their kennel.
Oh, where's it?
That will be causing havoc somewhere. Harper will be asleep somewhere. There you go.
Well, I've got a house to myself. It's funny because my wife has then said to my daughter, "So you're going to come to the supermarket with me?" And my daughter's saying, "Well, yeah, you said it was just a bit of chicken and potatoes." And then my wife says, "Well, it's going to be a little bit more than that." And then my daughter sees straight through this. And so basically it's 2 trolleys worth, isn't it? And she said, "Well, possibly, yeah. Well, and it's like my heavy schedule. I've got to go out and have fun tonight, and I'm not sure I can fit that in." And I just listen. Anyway, they've gone. She's made herself up to go to the supermarket, which takes about 35 minutes. And then she insists, no, it's so she can go straight afterwards. It's a very complicated life for women, basically. You have to make yourself all tidy and clean and stuff. Whereas blokes, it's an outrage, isn't it, Dave? We can just chuck a jeans and t-shirt on and go.
Well, that's it, mate. I mean, like I say, I got up an hour ago and I've done absolutely nothing to be on screen here today. Can you tell? And you can't tell either, can you? I mean, it looks like I'm doing the makeup.
Your hair's good. You've done your hair, mate. Yeah. Hair's looking
I
good.
did, yeah, look, I cut my hair, had a
You cut your
shave. Gemma did.
I've
Gemma cut my hair.
I've got into drinking my own wee. It's quite nice now. It's all right. All right, it's apple juice. All right, just waking everyone up out there for a minute. You're never entirely sure, are you? It is apple juice.
Woke Gemma up. Made you laugh, didn't it, Gemma?
Yeah. Right. Days in Italy. Days in Italy. Telling us your reasons why. I used to write for television. Was in Italy working when I first joined Twitter. Hence the name. There's always a story, just as they say behind. Yeah. There was on our driver training. There was always that phrase. Do you hear it? There's always a story behind every skid mark, but road skid mark, I think. Well, there's a story behind every skid mark, I would suggest. But,
yeah, there is.
Look, I'm being told off already. Look, you can tell it, the tone in the voice. So we'll start talking about stuff.
We got some things coming up, haven't we, Harry? Have you got screen thingies for them? Screen grabs. We got some things coming up, haven't we? Nearly scuppered by work, but.
Are you talking about in Chester and things? Yeah,
and Torbay, and
I know. Yeah, I have there, mate.
I was hoping that might be a bit slicker because you're normally well organized. Guys, we'll talk about Pencarve in just a minute. I'll give you an update about him and animals in just a minute. Let's see if Harry can find his advert. So anybody who likes Frontline Chat or listening to two cops or one cop, one ex-cop chatting, you can come and see us live.
You can come and see us live. And it's not at all frightening for us, is it? Do you know what? I've got all the press releases. Right. I've got all the press releases. I've got everything on every single one. Well, there's one in Leeds. There's one in Chester. There's one in Torbay. But I'm trying to get
Colin.
I'm trying to see where you put the actual adverts, which is really, naughty, isn't it? Yeah. But I'll get there in a minute.
So so you can come and see Frontline Chat live at those three places that Harry just said, and if they go well, there'll be more as well. Then, are you coming to Glasgow? I might be in Scotland early next year. So if I can drag Harry up there, perhaps we can do something, or I'll just do something on my own because
we're just going to see how it goes, basically. So it will be, I'm trying to find the adverts. I do apologise. I will from now on because it's coming up in November, so we've still got a little bit of time. But if anywhere around Chester, it's basically the Chester Literary Festival. And then, so Dave and I are going to be up there, and doing a bit of a Frontline Chat, and then we're also going to do some with Arthur Smith, because he's going to regale his way about his father, who was in the 1950s in the police, and that sort of thing. He's hilarious. I love him to bits. We're just going to have a bit of a crack, aren't we? Really, have a bit of fun.
Yeah,
the Torbay one is in March, and is in the Palace Theatre in Torbay, and that's quite big. So that's in Paynton. Love to see people there. So that's in March. We'll put the times in shortly, and I will start advertising them. Hey,
you're not nervous, are you?
Do you know what? What is it with you? What are you like, Dave? Because I just think, sod it. Just throw myself in, and if you make a fool of yourself, make a fool of yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You just got to go for it, haven't you?
Yeah. And we'll dig ourselves. If we get ourselves in a hole, we'll dig ourselves out.
Well, in March, with the Palace Theatre, we've got the City Sergeant as well, who's Colin Taylor. So we've got him with us.
He could rescue us. Bit of sanity.
Yeah. This could completely go mad, and there'll be people live questions live and all that sort of thing, obviously, because there'll be an audience there. Hopefully 3 people will turn up.
Well, we need like this show, mate. We need audience participation, don't we? We need it because we haven't got enough talent without it.
We need a couple of hecklers, right? Look at that.
People asking, will Finn be there? Hopefully, possibly. I haven't asked Harry if he's allowed to come. Just if Finn wants to come.
Oh, I'd love. Obviously, Finn will bring the crowds in, but clearly, you just don't know how it'll be. It'll be Finn's best interest at the time, won't he? If he's feeling a bit, a bit sore and a bit ropey or whatever, then obviously it wouldn't be fair to bring him. But Dave is very keen to make sure, as long as Finn wants to come, and you can tell. He's fit enough to come and things, and yeah, we'd love to have him when we do.
Yeah, mate, we would. Yeah, right. So, Pen Farthing. So, obviously, those of you who don't know, Pen Farthing is the founder of the charity called Nowzad that was set up because basically he was a Marine in the wars in Afghanistan, and he was befriended by a dog called Nowzad, funnily enough. And it was just a street dog who used to comfort him, who used to follow him around on some of his tours. And you have to read his book. It's just incredible. There were a few incidents where, the dog was getting a bit too close during some contact with the enemy and stuff like that. And the dog just followed him around and comforted him. And they had to go out at one point and rescue him because he was in the line of fire and all that sort of stuff. It's an amazing story. So he set up this incredible charity in, initially over here to rescue dogs from Afghanistan and marry them back up with the soldiers that they'd supported out there. And then he ended up starting a clinic and an amazing veterinary center in Afghanistan where he trained and employed veterinary staff, including female veterinary staff. And anybody knows anything about Afghanistan, you'll know that just going to school for some girls is incredibly hard because of how it all is out there. So for these girls, these women to have gone to university and become vets is just incredible. It's an absolutely amazing story. But obviously the country has collapsed. Taliban have taken over and they needed to get them out. Oh my goodness. If anybody has been watching the Nowzad thing, and I'm sure there'll be some people who have their own opinion on whether it's right and wrong and all that sort of stuff. It really has been a roller coaster the last couple of weeks. So originally Penn wanted to get all his staff out and their families. So 71, I think, quoted between 68 and 71 people who are Afghanis. Is that right? Afghans. There we go. Get them out and their immediate families and the animals. So 88 dogs and 78 cats. Oh, I can't remember what it was. So nearly 200 animals. And it's been going backwards and forwards. There's been arguments in the press and the defense secretary's had to defend himself. And it's been quite a roller coaster. And the plane was cancelled because they couldn't get insurance. And then they got another plane and that hadn't arrived. And then they got into the airport and then they were thrown out of the airport because Biden changed the rules just as they arrived. It's just been chaos. And I feel for them. Anyway, the current situation is his staff apparently have told him he's got to get out because he's an ex-Royal Marine. If he stayed, I don't fancy his chances. Now, obviously, he can handle himself. He can't handle himself against thousands of Taliban soldiers. So they've told him to go and take the animals with him because it's much easier, potentially. There is no such word as easy when it comes to out there. Much easier potential for him and the animals to get out without the staff. So the staff have stayed behind and they're going to be looking to get out in the future, hopefully, if the Taliban keep their word and all that sort of stuff.
Because it's not just staff, is it? He had problems earlier and the staff stayed to defend them. They're like a family there. So that's why he was staying behind, wasn't he? So that he could. So I'm not going without those staff. And then it just became impossible and the staff were going to have to stay there. And like you said, Dave, because he's Royal Marine, he's going to be in a right sticky wicket if he did stay. Yeah. So
there was some
difficult.
Some horrible pictures of they'd been in the airport, then they got thrown out of the airport, and they had all the animals in the back of trucks in 35-degree heat, and they're trying to keep the animals cool. And it's just horrible. Anyway, the latest is it's hard to get any news at the moment, but the latest is we think is that the airplane has landed in I'm not ignoring you. I'm just checking my messages because I'm
fine.
Time. So we think the aircraft that has been privately funded has landed at Kabul airport. We think that's what we're being told. That's what
ready for picking up. Okay.
So the armed forces are staying on to help him load the aircraft, and that's pretty much the last thing the soldiers will be doing is getting him and his animals and anybody else they can get on that plane into the aircraft, and then those soldiers themselves will be leaving the country too. There's been lots in the press about them being pets and them taking seats of human beings, which is just simply not true. I mean, these animals are going to go in the cargo hold where humans can't go, and he's going to fill the plane up with as many people as he can, connected or unconnected to him. So please keep your fingers crossed.
So it's actually extra seats, isn't it? It's actually extra seats.
Yeah, and there's people saying, "Oh, yeah, but it's taking up an aeroplane slot and a plane slot." But there are slots available.
Oh, shut up! These people, they don't know what they're talking about. They're just guessing. Trying to find. They're people like a certain neighbour from where I was living. My mum, and we were listening to a massive row where it's sort of an access only type situation, and the cars come down, see the access only signs, and then they carry on, and then they turn around and come back out again. And he jumps on these people. I mean, his rage is and they were literally effing and blinding him, and his wife were out there. And I'm listening to this, having a bit of a chuckle actually, and thinking, God, these people have. If that is the worst thing in their lives, that people are driving past their front door, which they couldn't even see if they were inside it, and that is the whole stress of their lives, and they really haven't got any problems. I'd love them to have a little taste of what people are putting up with out there, like in Afghanistan, and then suddenly it brings you into perspective a little bit, doesn't it? It brings everything into perspective. That's so frustrating, but thanks, Evan. It's looking good.
We're trying on our social media because there's a lot of, I'm going to say it, bullshit and bluster on social media. Sorry for the language, but there is. So we're trying on our social channels to make sure that the facts that we're putting out are the facts, and it's not just BS. Because I mean, imagine being their friends and seeing lies and stuff on social media. So I mean, follow Nowzad because they're very good at only putting the facts out as well. And we'll do our best to make sure that we only put the facts out. And fingers crossed, in the next day or two, we'll be celebrating that they're all back on British soil and safe and sound. And then we can concentrate on getting his people out. Because you know what? We need veterinary staff over here. We're short of veterinary staff. So it's not like they're going to be coming over here and bludging off society. So fingers crossed for them, because it must be horrendous out there.
Exactly, my friend. What I will do, just to go back very quickly, this is the Chester, and that's right. So running from Wednesday, it needs a bit more of a ding sort of advert, doesn't it? Wednesday 10th of November, next event Wednesday 10th, is so basically you can book tickets on here. Chester literature, can't even say the word, that's a bit embarrassing, theatre, and it's, you can see it's Arthur Smith's going to be on there as well. It's your good self and me. And it's just, the whole festival is just really popular every year. So have a go, have a look down there. Frontline chat, talking cops and comedy, because that's where Arthur's doing his bit. I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to it, but there's no doubt at all I will be. Hey, there you go. I'll be slightly nervous. It's a little bit.
Well, there's an opportunity, isn't there, that potential that Arthur's just going to rip into you and me for the best part of 2 hours.
What, comedians have a go at cops? Do you think? Would they have a go at cops?
Why not?
Yeah, would
Fair
they?
play. Yeah,
do you think so?
Arthur. You and me are so stupid, we probably won't even notice it's happening.
Yeah, that's my one. I tell you what, I went surfing with him, and he loves boards. So I go surfing on a polystyrene, foam thing. It's got a leash on, and I can put a leash to his collar, and went out Lusty Blaze, and then bob around a bit. He's just really good balancing on the board. And then we took 2 waves in just before I came back home. So down the wave, just belly boarding.
Film it. Get water.
I know. I will do. My sister, of course, is looking after my mum. My mum's in a bit of a situation at the moment. So I'm going down there 5 days a week to bail a situation out that is not good at the moment. So I'm back here for the weekends, down there full time, sort of nights and days busy, and grabbing that spare we can. I told my mum's in a wheelchair at the moment, and my sister said, "Let's take her to Porth Island." I said, "Well, there's no wheelchair access," and she said, "Yeah, it doesn't matter. We'll make access." And so I'm like, "I don't think so." My mum hadn't been on there for 40 years. We took that wheelchair to Porth Island. I'll show you how and how exposed she is. Here we go. Let's. So this is, and we've gone over a bridge. We've gone over a bridge to get there. My mum's like looking like the female version of the mafia, especially when she's in the back of my car, which is a black Mercedes. And she's like stroking Arthur, like it's like instead of James Bond man with cat, it's woman with dog. It's good. It's good. We're certainly getting out and about, but it's hard work, shall we say?
Yeah.
I mean, but look at the beautiful place around there. It is phenomenal. Oh, look, you see actually. I don't think I'd swear here. So Porth Island. There's Arthur, loving it. So he's had a good old rant around. So this is Porth Beach. My mum was like, I literally taking all over these really rough off-road pretty much. And then look at that, stunning.
Yeah, beautiful.
North Cornwall coast. You can't beat it. It's absolutely stunning. Right, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about a little bit of Taser, because we had just get rid of that comment. Did you put that comment up? Are you able to put that comment up?
What?
You. There's a comment on the bottom of the screen. Did I? Anyway, thank you, Operation Arc. But he's absolutely right. It's a good comment to come up. I wasn't sure if you'd done it.
No, I can't do nothing, mate. I've got no rights here.
Well, you can put your photographs on. You know that now.
Puppet on a string. I can't.
No, you can. You can put photographs on and stuff.
Oh, I can put photographs. Yeah, I just don't know how to.
You're just lazy, aren't you? You just think, oh, you can do it. That's all right. You can do it. Right. What we do? Let's get to the point.
Sorry, what was that, Dem?
Said he's got you to a T.
So
he's got you to a T.
You've got a heckler.
Right. Okay. A little bit of controversy. Nothing. It's all formal. It's all official. So no worries, Dave. Don't panic. Basically, the IOPC, independent. Sorry, Office of Police Conduct. They put a report out on Taser. And unfortunately, today published a review of 101 IOPC investigation. Now, consider that the investigations, everyone out there, are those that complaints have been made against, and consider that you might as well make a complaint because you've got nothing to lose, and you might get a bit of money out of it. You never know. And there is always advice that can be given back to the police, you'll find. But anyway, so that's that side of thing. But what we did find was the Association of Chief Police Officers did actually come back on this one. And that was basically, I'm trying to, I've lost my link. Oh, okay, here she goes. There we go. Here we go. Apologies, everyone. Production team is very slow today, but we're getting there. Right. So police chiefs here says, very unusual for them to criticize someone like this. It's all sort of like, we'll be listening, really, and we'll sort of really, yeah. And she, and I always never know how to pronounce her name.
No, I'm not trying.
But yeah, the title, I'm even trying to find it here. The IOPC has published a review of Taser based on 0.1% of its use. The National Police Chiefs Council lead for less lethal weapons. Chief Constable Lucy Dawsey, I think it is, has written a blog, and part of that, she said, I advised the IOPC of my concerns and extreme disappointment that it did not engage with policing, it didn't even attend a Taser training course or consult the national independent experts, right? Only 101 Taser uses over a 5-year period were reviewed. And these were all ones that had been investigated by the IOPC. So most Taser things are not investigated by the IOPC, for everyone out there. It's concerning that this only represents 0.1% of all Tasers. Focusing on these smaller number of cases missed an opportunity to consider Taser use more broadly, and unfortunately has resulted in recommendations. I don't know who these people are to recommend. They don't even go to a training thing. So I can't understand where these experts within the IOPC who are recommending 2 experts who do it and train it and are trained in it. I don't understand, which are mostly out of date and not based on realities of policing. The focus on such a small data sets ignores good practice and learning elsewhere. So that is the official view of the Chief Constable. I think she's British Transport Police, but she is part of the National Police Chiefs Council. And she's come out with a very, real criticism on that. It's nice to see, because it is so wrong. If you took 101 random, then so be it. But a lot of these uses, which don't go to the IOPC, are red dots, and that is uses. That is a use, red dot, as we know. And that's where people go. And I've had it myself. I've had it attending a pub with a guy with a machete down the back of his pants, and attended the pub. Threatened, I threatened him. I challenged him with a taser, and he had like 3 red dots dancing around him, and he immediately throws his arms up and drops to his knees. Yeah. So that's...
the key things are that we can always learn. We can, and we're prepared. There's not many organisations like the police that can continually being asked to learn and review and overhaul and all that sort of stuff. So we're willing to do it, but it has to be fair. It's got to be, fair. And that's why it was so refreshing, wasn't it, to see Mom and the National Police Chief Council coming out and saying, hang on a sec, this isn't a fair report. It's not a fair report. If you come back with a fair report, of course we're going to listen to you. But to come at it from that angle, I mean, I don't know what they set out to achieve with this, but it's just been poo-pooed because they've gone about it completely the wrong way.
It's not even subtle, is it? It's just not. It's not even subtle. It's the blatant. You have to be careful what you say, but I just ask. They clearly have. It's a bit like when I did a review. I helped on a review once, and the boss in charge of the review. Well, no, the guy in charge of the initial review. I tell you what, it's a firearms strategy many years ago, in my force, and the guy in charge of my review said to the boss, the overall boss, "Can I just get one thing straight? Are you asking us to find evidence for a result that you want, or do you want us to find evidence to end up with a final solution and recommendations?" It was tongue-in-cheek, and he wouldn't have done the former, but he wanted to know, have you already made your plans and you just want us to fit those plans? A bit like in government a lot of time. But that, for me, sounds exactly the same as the IOPC. They've got an audience. They've got a certain audience that they seem to want to please, and you'll find they're the ones who shout the loudest and got least to say. But and it's how do we find the evidence? Well, we're not going to get 101 random, because that's such a small thing. We're not going to get 1,000. No, we'll get ones where they've just made complaints, and we'll have a look at that, and then we'll put recommendations on that without going to training reviews, without actually understanding that. It's just madness. But anyway, going on to that as well. And so nothing that we've said is complete, that isn't officially out there and things like that. So no worries. My comment, Sophia Khan, the solicitor, she was renowned for being basically ambulance chasing with Taser, and so she was basically then giving. And I remember, do you remember the guy in London who and he got the machete and he attacked the police officer and she said, well, maybe he could have just handled it better and spoken to him and asked him to put the machete down, as he was running towards him and slashing him.
There's been some absolutely crazy, it's very strange sound bites on big, on like Sky News and stuff like that, where she's gone on. And my friend Sebastian Ellis, he was interviewed alongside her.
Oh,
I think that Channel 4 or Channel 5. And the stuff he was coming out with was just nuts. And he was, he served as a cop for about 10 years and in London. So he'd seen some stuff. And the things she was trying to suggest he and his colleagues could have done instead of what they did do was just begged belief. If someone's running at you with a machete, you can't suddenly pull out the picnic blanket and make a nice cup of tea with some fine china and offer them a nice cake and a small sandwich. It doesn't work.
It's just insulting. Like it's just insulting, isn't it? She was the director of legal. Anyway, the story is that her company's been closed down by the Law Society or whatever, the organization behind it. Say, no, you can't do that anymore because we have serious concerns about you being dishonest. Is the term that they'd use. So she was the director of legal and policy for Charitable Police Action Centre, providing free advice for public protesters and prisoners who wish to pursue actions against the police. That's a nice job to do, isn't it? That's why you wake up in the morning to do. See if you can ambulance chase the people who are trying to do good in society. But there we go.
David Welding, see that's a great thing to have. See, he got blocked by her. Well done. We applaud you, David. He commented against her and he got blocked. She's a character, isn't she?
Yeah, there's she's an individual. She's an interesting individual. I would be more than happy not to have to even hear about ever again. Would be nice. I did want to show one thing which was quite good. Let's do this. This is something about Taser. This guy here, 50-year-old, was today jailed for 11 offences, including 4 counts of possession of offensive weapons. So I'll just bring this one on a minute. Going to the scene. This is like a...
I think I've seen this.
If it hadn't been for Taser, they'd have had to get hands on. He's got a knife.
What opportunity there would Sophie Khan have suggested getting out?
And the IOPC will say. I find the recommended to the IOPC will say. And listen to this. Listen to it.
Can't hear it, mate.
Oh, you can't hear it?
No. What's he saying?
It's very annoying. Okay, because I've turned sound off. But basically, he's saying, I'm going to set you up. He says. You've been tasered, but you're not going to have any long-term effects at all. It is instant recovery, and I have got a taser, and you are cuffed. However, any sudden moves where you just need to be aware that I have got taser still, okay? But I don't intend to hurt you in any way. And he's very controlling, talking like that and that side of things. And maybe if they'd gone along to the training at IOPC, they would have heard that sort of thing, seen that sort of thing. But I can imagine it's just you always see the end results of the IOPC investigation, and they'll probably say, well, maybe they could have waited another 2 meters before they fired the taser. Those would be the recommendations from somebody who's never held a taser, from somebody who's never faced aggression.
Somebody who's never been charged at by somebody holding a knife.
Exactly. But how do we...
Whose biggest decision they have to make in the office is whether they announce that they're going to make a cup of tea and have to make other people a cup of tea. It's just... It is frustrating, and it's gone on for too long. And I do worry because there's no one sensible out there who's challenging it enough, apart from now the brilliant challenge with the blog by the Association of Chief Police Council. So bloody brilliant. More the merrier on that, please. Happy with that. So there's a bit of a competition now in the comments people saying that they got blocked. Mick got blocked. John's disappointed that he didn't get blocked. Try harder, John. Try harder, but don't be abusive.
I like this. Well done, Mick. I remember that, like Sergeant Wilson in Dad's Army. Please put that machete down. There's a good fellow. Mind you, the more angry I got, the more posh I did get, and I would turn into Dad's Army Sergeant Wilson. I say, old boy, you're boring me now. Would you please stop annoying me and wander off home?
Must come from your dad being a Spitfire pilot. That's how they all talk, wasn't it? It is very soothing because, to be honest, I'll be honest with you, if you can be very patronising, and they can't really complain about that because he told me to move along now, old chap, and I found that offensive. But it's I never had to F and blind at someone in the street, to say, right, even farms challenges. I know the Met say it's obviously not a Met farms challenge because it's like, get on the effing ground, and I never felt needed to do that. But I don't criticize when it's a sort of potentially life and death situation. You want to absolutely dominate and absolutely whack, and you've got to hit them hard verbally and challenge them and frighten them into submission, and then no one's injured. That's the key thing. So I'm not entirely against it, but I just didn't feel the use of it myself. I'm looking at the comments here. Can we ask your audience to stop coughing in the background? They're disturbing the. Yeah, I know. She's had this. It's not COVID. She's had this cough all week. It's
oh mate,
really
mate. I went into the chemist and got some of these before I went down to my mum, and I was literally walking in, and I got my G7. Look at that G7 mask.
Oh yeah, look at you.
UK 2021. So I'm going like this, and then a little midge flew in my mouth, and I start coughing. And I thought, I cleared it. I'm in the chemist now, and I'm asking for a COVID test whilst coughing in the chemist. Surprised they didn't shut it down overnight. Honestly, it was so embarrassing. I didn't know what to do. Oh, okay. So you think it's sorry? You think it's sorry? You think it's about to land?
I can see the same plane she's talking about. It's on
radar. Okay.
Hopefully, I don't think we'll know. The charity have gone very silent, which I would expect them to do. At the moment, because they won't want to scupper it. They won't want to ruin the plans. You know what? There's going to be many documentaries out of this. I would imagine there'll be a movie made about this. There's been some rights and there's been some very wrongs, but all that matters is that we get them out. Yeah,
and all those. I mean, you just think how lucky we are in this country, aren't we? Really, we're just so lucky. I mean, I am, feeling sorry for myself because I've had to push a wheelchair up a hill in Porth Island and see all that view, and then go to a little cafe afterwards in Porth and have a nice bit of cake and coffee, and you just think, we are so spoiled in this country. I know not everyone has that opportunity in this country, but the majority can if they want. I wouldn't think the internet. I don't know how does that go, or do they go on?
So there's a few things. So this is called Flight Radar 24. It runs off of the transponders on the plane, but there have to be receivers in the country. And now there's a few things like, yes, the internet and even the electricity supply isn't amazing in certain parts. So the transponders are not picking up signal, but I would imagine lots of the airlines are switching off their transponders because and the military, of course, because they don't want to be spotted in the sky. So quite often the transponders come on again just before they land and then just after they leave the country. So it is quite difficult to to spot the aeroplanes. So it's lots of it is speculation, but like I say, the charity have said, they said to me the other day that when it happens, we'll go quiet because we don't want people to know what our plans are. And at that point, they didn't know if they were going to have to go out over land or in the air. And quite rightly, they don't want to draw any more attention to their rescue mission.
Yeah. I mean, it's a serious threat, isn't it? Because that's the weak point, is aircraft in the air as they're and that's why they land. I mean, I know how the Hercules, whatever they are now, but they come down at such a steep angle and land so that they are low.
Someone has asked if we can do a frontline chat with Penn. I think it's possible, definitely. He's an incredibly busy man, and once he gets back here, oh my God, is he going to be a busy person?
Yeah, we're going to have to wait till the fuss dies down a bit, aren't we?
Set up the charity again over here. He's got to sort the animals out. He's got to try and get his staff out. But we would love to have him on. So we will try and make those connections. I've met Penn a number of times. We went down and supported his dog show for several years in a row down in Devon. That's where he lives. He's a wonderful guy, an amazing bunch of people that run the charity. People like Anne and Dave. They're just absolutely wonderful. I really can't praise them enough. I know there's been some negative press in the press. I know there's been a ton of positive press in the press. But Dave,
you get negative press. Everyone gets negative press.
I never noticed.
Clearly, I don't ever get negative press.
No, you don't. Believe what you want to believe. But at the end of the day, this man has stayed out in Afghanistan to try and rescue his animals and his staff. Or I'll get picked up for saying animals first, his staff and his animals. Because I've been picked up on social media for saying that this week. Why did you put the animals first? Well, the humans made their own decisions and the animals didn't. So that's why.
And then actually they're not being put first. And actually the humans have got a lot of people fighting their cause. That's what it is. And because Dave is more specifically related to the animal world and that side of things, it makes sense. There's lots of people doing all they can to support the humans, and quite rightly so. But it's good that we don't forget of the animals as well. But there you go.
A bit of good news about our service personnel. 16 air assault have left Afghanistan.
I saw the photograph of that.
That's good that they're out. We don't want them there.
I tell you, it's a bloody mess, isn't it, mate? It is a mess. Do you think we'll ever do something like this again, where they go, because the wars in the past, it was the World War, the long war was like, and you think, well, actually, the Second War was only 5 years long. 5 years. And this is like, what, 20, 25?
20 years, yeah.
I mean, it's just phenomenal. And, it's just more. Going back to the Taser, I really worried the narrative around Taser is getting worse and worse. Do you know what? I think the facts will speak for themselves. The people in the know and the people who do it and the people who actually turn up to the training and the people who actually look at not just the complaints but look at all of them can see how I call it the tool of the pacifist. And I wrote a blog on this in 2016 on Taser, which has been used in many sort of publications. And the facts in that blog is very relevant today. It certainly saved lives when I was there. It stopped one of my guys from shooting someone dead because they had the Taser there. But it's not foolproof. So that's why they call it less lethal. Oh, okay. We know we've got a character reference here. Claire, thank you. Worked with her in the Met. Lucy Dorsey. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right because I've never heard it said. She's a very professional and fair officer. Good to hear. But I tell you what, I admire people who just stick their head above the parapet.
Most people wait until they retire to do it, which is such a shame. So much to say.
And there's nothing in it for her apart from the fact that that's wrong. I've got to challenge that. There's nothing in it for her. In fact, you could say, well, somebody actually made the comment, well, that's the commissioner's job over for her. It's wrong, isn't it? It's absolutely wrong. So let's hope.
There's absolutely. There's hope. The police need more tools. They need more things because none of us set out to go and injure anybody. None of us set out to go and kill anyone. No firearms officer wakes up in the morning and goes, you know what? I'm going to shoot someone dead today. So we need more tools like Taser. They need to have a range of tools to be able to control situations, because that's what needs to happen. When we turn up, control needs to be taken. You can't just stand back and hope the person gets tired and falls asleep, or, you know, we've got to gain control for the safety of them, for the safety of others, for this, you know, for the safety of everybody, us, the suspect or whatever they are, and the public. We can't just stand back and wait. So we need the right tools to do that job, and Taser is one of those things that we should have the option for. So rubbishing it all the time and saying it's dreadful and it's rubbish, of course there's a risk. Of course there's a risk to using Taser. Of course there's things to be learned from using Taser. So let's learn them. You know, we haven't got a massive cotton wool throwing gun that just wraps them up until they can be cuddled into submission. So until we do, we've got things like Taser, dogs, guns, batons, palmer, and TACCOMs. We're always using our mouths. Always using our mouths. When Harry points a gun at someone, he doesn't stop talking to them.
I say, yeah, no, I'm like, I say, old chap, would you mind awfully?
Yeah. Have you noticed that Harry just never stops talking? Anybody noticed that? He just never, ever, ever stops talking. 30 years of it. Anyway.
Can't do it.
No, you
can't do it.
No.
I tell you what, this is ongoing at the moment in London. Protests, more carriers there.
What's that about?
I'm sort of struggling to find out what they're protesting about now. And we've got pretty much all we want, apart from we have to. It's a bit annoying to go on holiday still. Is it? What are they protesting about?
They're probably protesting about the direction of the wind. I'm not sure.
I think so, mate.
Sure, mate.
It's freedom.
Something new every week. They were moaning. The protesters were moaning the other month that they didn't have freedom, and then when they got freedom, they were moaning that they had freedom.
I don't understand it now.
No, I don't get it.
The XR protesters, £34 million that cost XR alone for the Met Police. That was last year. I think everyone sort of agreed. We sort of agree with what they're saying, but what they're actually doing is causing far more problems in addition to the climate change. So, you know, I don't mind. I was driving under the A30 and there's on the bridges and stuff. There's, you know, those little reminders always good, you know, with the banners across the bridge, but they weren't disputed. But they're actually, you know, just drip feeding the reminders. I've got a hybrid car now. I love the fact that I drive all the way around my area for 1p a mile on hybrid, and it's a 3-litre Mercedes. Yeah, I mean, it costs. I go to my father-in-law, who is round trip, 40-mile round trip. I was getting 300 miles per gallon to get there because it uses a little fuel when it needs the fuel, and then it's. And this is a massive machine that if I want to put my foot down, I could go very quickly up to 70 miles an hour. I don't know what happens after that. I would never go, obviously. So it's like my motorbike, my ZZR motorbike.
Yeah, yummy. Lots of pictures of you on social media out on your bike. Very nice.
Yeah, no, that is good. That is good. Look, yeah, this is what I've been waiting for. RAF Big Birds bringing the troops back home safely. Heartbroken for the US Marines. Here we go. That's a nice picture. And actually, the soundtrack to that, it's like da, 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 da. They were playing in the actual camera, and I think it was that one. But yeah, welcome home. I presume guys and girls. But yeah, look at that. I wouldn't like to put the trolley with coffee and tea down there, would you?
No, definitely not. I mean, you know, whatever the rights and wrongs are about taking out.
I mean, if they put the good-looking ones at the front or something.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm straight, but I know an attractive man. All right, I'm able to say that. You know, everyone's allowed to say they think David Beckham's an attractive man. Every man wants to be them. Every girl wants to be with him, sort of thing, whatever. And but look at this bunch here. Are the ugly ones at the back or something?
Yeah, I'm not your average. We went and filmed Top Gear we were in the Top Gear audience when Finn and I were on our course all those years ago, and they put all the attractive ladies at the front.
That's so I take it you were right at the back then.
Right at the very back. Yeah.
In the car park.
If we could put this board in front of you, that would be good. Yeah, okay, no worries. I didn't care. I was in the Top Gear studio. I didn't care.
That is fantastic. That was really good.
What was I going to say before then?
Oh, look, thank you, Jackie. Jackie, thank you very much.
He doesn't need that. He doesn't need his ego massaging. He really doesn't. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, no matter the rights and wrongs of what's going on, and should we have withdrawn and whatever else, the troops didn't cause any of it. They went out there, they did an amazing job, and now we need to get them the hell out of there. And when you see our brave boys and girls out there doing that, you know, wherever they are, whatever the theatre is, we need to take our hats off to them and pray that they get home nice and safely.
Exactly, mate. John, I've got to, in the interest of fairness, I've got to put this up as well because Jackie said I'd be at the front. So, see, the IOPC would have done that. All right, they'd have ignored your evidence, your opinion. I
like Dawn's message there. I think that's absolutely spot on. Yes, Dawn, we could use Harry's voice on loop for hours and hours and hours just to bore them into submission, like white noise. That's it. When you've been, you know, when they capture the prisoners and they put them in the cell, just play Harry, and they'll be like, "I'll tell you whatever you want to know. Just shut him up."
It's so hurtful. This is so hurtful. You know, I'm Dave. You know,
is it loud?
I'm sensitive. I'm a sensitive chap. You know, these hurt me.
Don't cry.
See, you're just vicious. You know,
you can
vicious.
Cry if you want. Fine, you're allowed to cry.
I don't know what I'm allowed to do now as a guy. All this metrosexual stuff. I don't know if I'm going to cry and show feelings or whether, because I think, you know, and then it's all very complicated, isn't it?
You can cry, mate. Go on, let it out. Let it out, mate. Right. I'm just to keep checking my phone to see if there's any other updates, and I haven't got anything, I'm afraid. That was a bit rubbish, wasn't it? The only update is there's no update.
Okay, I put on this on my Twitter. This is a bit of a laugh. This is sometimes you see these things, and I said I put Britain has bred these people. There's no deterrent for those who wish to lead selfish lives, living off the hard work of others. Time to turn the tide, but the criminal justice system needs massive changes first. What am I talking about? I don't know why the sound never comes up. Can you hear the sound of that?
Nope.
See, it's okay. It's probably because there's a few Fs. Anyway, he started kicking the car and whatever, and he's videoing him, and he's saying, get the police. And he's videoing him, so he wants to get it on YouTube. Oh, get the police. Oh. You know, this is Britain today, everyone.
What a muppet. Why did he do that? That's the man's livelihood. That's his office. He's attacking his office. For what reason? What did the taxi driver do?
He was passing. He was passing, and he literally just flicked the wing mirror, the door mirror, and then started shouting at the guy, saying, "Oh, you've hit me. You've clipped me." Yeah. Britain today. And is there anything in our system that stops that person? That says your actions, your attitude is out of order. You need to stop behaving like that in a public place. Do what you like in the privacy of your own home.
No, nothing. No one's going to stop him. No one stopped him at school, so he's going to carry on doing it.
What's the word? We're going to be two grumpy old men. We need Arthur Smith up here. Third grumpy old man. Put the world to rights.
Well, as Dave Wilding said just now, negativity sells. So, yeah, we need to be more negative on it. Let's moan more. Our viewing figures will go through the roof if we just moan more, Harry.
We would. Well, cops are known for it. But I'm not a cop, so I've had to become really positive all of a sudden. Angie Quinn's with us.
There's some action going on out there. Look.
Looks like, it's kicking off out there.
It is kicking off. There's
Steady
the
on.
public order van. Oh my
We've got
goodness.
Maxie coming on top of the whippersnapper. Whippersnappers thinks. What's whippersnapper called again? I never know names.
Wanda. She just
Wanda.
relentless. She won't give up.
Wonder. I can tell your child named that one.
Well, no. So they're all Marvel fans. I told you this story before.
Oh, right. Okay. I probably wasn't interested.
Listen, Harry.
So.
We're all Marvel fans in this house, and there's a Marvel show and characters called WandaVision. So she's called Wanda, and the cat's called Vision.
Wonder. Is that why you have to train them so well? So you don't have to shout in a park. Wonder, where are you? Oh dear. Sorry.
Right, so I've just been texting an update from my friend Kay.
Oh yeah.
That one of Penn's, well, I guess is his right hand man, has just tweeted, the most bravest, courageous man I've ever known is coming home from Kabul. So hopefully that means he is on the plane. Now, I don't know if he's taken off yet, but hopefully it means he's on the plane. So yeah, expect more updates in the day or so to come.
Yeah, let's hope, mate.
Yeah,
it's all there. So yeah, good. Well, that's looking good, but of course, it's all the others left behind, isn't it? That's a tragedy, but at least we can get some. We can't fix everything for all people, can they? But they can do the best they can. That's all they can do. Dawn says, which dog has its phone out recording that fight?
Yeah, true. Yeah, they could be splitting it up, but instead they're filming it.
You've got a confusing name there, because it could be. Is it a dog named after a fish?
What would Doggy's social media be called? Obviously, we've got YouTube. PawTube?
No, that's like porn.
I know, I thought that. It's a bit too close.
A bit too close.
Yeah.
Lost in translation.
Yeah. Yeah, a fish called Wanda. Yeah, I remember watching that film years ago, but it's not. It's WandaVision. If you have a look at on Google at WandaVision, there's two characters, one called Wanda, one called Vision. They had their own show as well, from Marvel, so they're called WandaVision.
Yeah. Good.
Doggy social media. Facebook. There we go. Facebook. Film it for Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Right, I'm just saying we're coming up to the end. We're coming to time. Oh yeah, they could learn to fly backwards. Have you seen the list? Have you seen the list of hardware that has been left in Afghanistan for the Taliban?
I just want to say, John's gone for the risque version. He's gone for Rough Hub.
Wow.
Anyway, yes.
Type of...
I think I reckon, was it 62 billion pounds worth of hardware? So I reckon they're probably, apart from Russia, possibly us and America, they're probably one of the richest, most powerful armies in the world at the moment, which is just mental.
It is.
Whether they can use all that hardware or not at the moment is another matter, of course. But 62 billion pounds worth of military hardware they've just inherited.
It is a little bit frightening. So I'm just going to say share audio, and let's see if you get to hear this. This is just frightening. Tell me if you can hear the voice.
Yeah.
The sound.
I was on the front lines of,
right, listen to this. This is not good.
Equipment that the Americans provided and turned over to the Afghan army and the Afghan police. I'm going to read to you what is so painful for me and so many other Afghan veterans who served in that capacity, others who served as a part of the train advised.
So basically, the Americans say, look, we fought like mad, we've done all this, and now we've just handed all this equipment, had to leave all this equipment behind.
Of this administration,
wow.
The Taliban now has access to over $85 billion worth of American military equipment. That includes 75,000 vehicles, over 200 airplanes and helicopters, over 600,000 small arms and light weapons. The Taliban now has more Black Hawk helicopters than 85% of the country's.
That's just mental.
But they don't just have weapons. They also have night vision goggles.
Night vision goggles.
Yeah.
and unbelievably, unfathomable to me and so many others, is that the Taliban now has biometric devices, which have the fingerprints, eye scan, biographical,
Crazy.
and
Basically, of sensitive intel stuff they have as well on IDs of people that have helped the Americans.
Anyway, that's a really, really cheery way to finish our hour. So our viewing figures should go through the roof because we've made everyone really depressed now.
I know. Yeah, we're good. We're good. It's actually, yeah, true.
So guys,
Well,
keep fingers crossed for Penn and the animals and his staff, because we're not going to give up until the staff are out. And make sure you look out for Harry and I taking Frontline Chat on the road. Come and see us.
Woo, woo, woo. We're not scared at all, are we? It'll be fine. No, it'll be fine. Catch you later, guys and girls. Bye.